I should probably have written Christianity disguised as Christian. And Christianity, let's see, turn it around here. So, there's so much bullshit out there in regards of pagan bullshit. And I should probably have said it, in regards of pagan bullshit, in regards of not Christian, but actually looking like Christianity. But, my brain is a little off, and, some gas as well. Anyway, so, yeah, sure. Well, so Shabbat Shalom, have a good day of rest. It is, as we can see in Denmark, pretty much. You can actually see the new moon as well in regards to the new month. It was like I think it's day 3. Apparently there was some differences in regards of, let's see here. There we go. Can you see what is in the middle there? That's the new moon. That means it's the beginning of the month. Yeah, I wonder if I can actually take a screenshot. Oh, whatever, you come on. See if we can zoom. There we go. Doesn't look so... Oh, there we go. Anyway, that's the new moon, and as you can see, the sun has pretty much settled in Denmark. And, so still somewhat yellow and all that. And again, we have the moon is nearly like south. No, wait. Yeah, south. Where's my thing here in regards of north, south and all that? It nearly is in the south. It's, it's really, this time of year, it really, I don't know what it is. In regards to the north, south and all that, but it's but in any case, it is the beginning of the month. Now I think it's the 2nd or 3rd day, because some wanted to start the day after and all that. I can't remember the month either. It's hard to there's so many things, and but we can fix these things very easily. Very easy. And you can see the pagan bullshit over there on the top of the house. Let me see if we can zoom in here. There's a Christmas tree, or juletræ as we call it in Denmark. Yeah. Let's see if we can... it's not so good quality here, but anyway. And they have it on the top of the thing on the field. Anyway, now pagan bullshit everywhere. This world is, and now in Denmark, because of the Mohammedans, which is also full of pagan bullshit and all that stupidity of traditions and all that. Now the Danish people in Denmark are complaining about not being allowed to eat swine and keeping Christmas and all that, because of the foreigners that don't like that and so forward. But it's like it's like being in two, what do you call it? One takes one side, another takes another side, and then the truth is getting shut down. It's just incredible, because it's all pagan bullshit. Your Mohammedans are following a false prophet known as Muhammad. He was a false prophet. He was a stinking wolf. It's very clear that he was a stinking wolf, okay? Apparently no one dares to tell you that he's a stinking wolf. Anyway, then we have the Roman Catholics, that we have a stinking wolf in sheep clothing leading it. That's the Antichrist of the number 666. Apparently, you're not allowed to say that because it's not political correct, and you shouldn't speak hate speech against the Roman Catholics and this bullshit system, which is the worst cult in the entire world. It's interesting, right? You get to a book like, let's see if I can find it. I have actually 2 of them. You get a book like this. A book that is called The Kingdom of the Cults by Walter Martin, and now edited by Rabbi Zacharias or whatever, something like that. It has not a chapter in regards to Roman Catholicism. How could that be? because there's some wolves in sheep clothing trying to direct us away from the truth that every single Protestant knew. Every single Protestant knew two truths. Two truths they all knew. One, who Jesus Christ is. He's not a cookie that you sacrifice in the Roman Catholic whorehouses. And you don't worship the cookie because, actually, I forgot to actually clip my nails. I should have done that. Anyway, it's the Sabbath. Well, there's so many things. So many things to fix. And just incredible. Anyway, I should get some more light. So, anyway, I'm just getting so tired of it. It's just pagan bullshit everywhere. It's not the Sunday thing. People run around believing Sunday is the last day of the week. It's like, no, it's not the last day of the week. It's the first day of the week. You know, of course, Sunday in regards to the venerated day of the sun god Sol Invictus. It's again is in regards to paganism. If you just take the names of the weekdays and all that, and it's a little harder for me in English than in Danish, but you know, you have all these pagan gods, you know, in regards to the weekdays. It's incredible. But if people believe that Sunday is the last day of the week, that's bullshit. Utter bullshit. You know, look it up in a lexicon. Don't trust the guy that you probably think is a madman. Just go look it up in a lexicon because no one told you. But it is. In Denmark, you know, there's very, very few that knows that the last day is Saturday. But anyway, it's incredible. Actually, from sunset to sunset. And it's just, you know, no one talks about it. Oh yeah, it's just this and that. And evolution, pagan bullshit evolution, right? You know, 82% of the Danish people believe in pagan evolution. Pagan satanic evolution. Millions and billions of years ago. And some more gas coming out there. Oh yeah, it's good. You know, better out than in, right? So anyway, I'm eating a lot of garlic as well. I'm still preparing for the diflucan and all that. I haven't started on the diflucan. I'll wait after the Sabbath and I'll start on the first day of the week, and that will help me to keep whatever. But anyway, so that would be 14 days of nystatin and then diflucan for a good period and all that. But in any case, hopefully it will work and hopefully it will kill off this fungi. Anyway, let's get back to it. So, in any case, so we have like pagan satanic evolution, right? Pagan satanic evolution, which you can follow back to India long before, you know, I can't even remember the guy. There's so much information. My brain is not working as it should, you know. Yeah, I guess what's it called? Oh, I can't even remember. You know, no, that's not. You know, the guy that made it popular. Yeah, everybody knows his name. Apparently just, you know, my brain just went out at the moment. So long before that he made it popular in the West, it was a known pagan doctrine. It's paganism, and it usually goes hand in hand with atheism, believing atheist, you know. It's bullshit, all of it, you know. It's a satanic bullshit. The broad way that leads to destruction. Now, of course, then we have, like, you know, it's like, how was it called? This, you know, I'm this and I'm that in regards of star sign and all that. Pagan bullshit! Throw it out. Get rid of it. Oh, yeah, I'm this and that, so I'm, you know, and I can read my horoscope. Oh, that was bullshit, pagan bullshit, crap and all that. Just out with it, you know. Oh, I'm this and I'm that and I'm that. Well, who cares? You know, it's pagan bullshit. Pagan bullshit. Anyway, and then we have, of course, we have Christmas, which in Denmark we call Yule, and you're going back to Jølner, and Jølner going back to Odin, the Nordic god. Anyway, that's just one of the links in regards to pagan, because, you know, these pagan traditions seems to go this direction, that direction, whatever. It's like seemingly pagans taken from this and that and all that, just mixing it all together, and, you know, it's just incredible. It's pagan bullshit, okay? Roman Catholic Church, Christ, Mass. It's the Mass of the blasphemy of the Antichrist. And of course, he's shown on the television around 24, 25 December. It depends on where you are on Earth, I guess. But anyway, he's shown in the television doing all his abominations. The man of the number 666. Yeah, who the world is gathering around. And the Protestants have no idea, apparently, who he is. Because the Protestants apparently are not Protestants anymore. Apparently, the Protestants seems to become Roman Catholics at the moment. They're running back under the wings of the Antichrist, of the beast of the number 666. And if you talk against it, you're not political correct. Who cares about being political correct? It seems like political correctness seems to be in agreement with the Antichrist, the world. Would I be in agreement with the world? Nay, I would not be in agreement with the world. We had to stand for the Bible. Anyway, so, no one is warning. The preacher standing behind the pulpit are singing love songs to the Antichrist and leading the sheep back to the big bad wolf with sheep clothing on. That's the Antichrist. The triune tyrant, the Pontifex Maximus. The high pagan priest that thinks himself the ruler of the whole world. Actually, not only the world, I think it was also the universe, So, earth, universe, and, hell and all that, of the realm of death and all that. I can't remember all the details here. But anyway, it's just amazing. He sets himself off as the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. He thinks himself ruler, of the world in both political, that would be civil and temporal matters, and all spiritual matters as well. You have to remember, who was the Protestant protesting against? Who was they protesting against? Because apparently no Protestant knew, very few. Very few knows actually who they're protesting against. And we have books and books and books and books and books in regards to the two most important truths. Who is Jesus Christ? 1. 2. Who is the Antichrist? That are the two most important things to know as far as I can see in this entire world. And that is something that is, that Satan is working to get us away from knowing those two things. You see, when you begin to understand those two truths, Satan has a lot harder actually deceiving you and leading you astray in all his pagan bullshit, Satan's candy store is big. It has many flavors, many flavors that you can try here and there. And he doesn't really care if you mix it together and try this and that and whatever, as long as you don't figure out who Jesus Christ is and who the Antichrist is. So, that you're not reading the book of Daniel and the book of Revelation and figure out what it's actually saying, and pointing to Rome and the Antichrist leading it. Anyway, you see, the Roman Catholic, church, whatever you want to call it, pagan church, this Roman mystical religion that has, just puts a cope in regards to Christianity and just say, hey, I'm Christian. Bullshit. Bullshit, 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 bullshit. Pagan bullshit. Anyway, all roads leads to Rome. That's one saying, right? All roads leads to Rome. I wonder why we would have a saying like that. Proud as a pope. Proud as a pope. I wonder why we would have a saying like that. Well, Latin and lies. I wonder why we would mix Latin and lies together in one sentence. Latin being the language of Rome. Anyway, so we have huge amount of books in regards to who the Antichrist is. And, all these Protestant books that has been hidden away from us. And, they've really done a great job at that, I must say, And we don't know who the Jesuits are either. The Jesuits, the special soldiers of Satan, of the Antichrist, to get the Protestants back under the wings of the Antichrist, the man of the number 666. The office and seat of the papacy, which I usually call poopacy, all these poopists, anyway, following the great stinking poop, Anyway, he calls himself Holy Father. Well, what does Yeshua say? There's only one Holy Father, and he's the one in heaven, or the heavens. It's usually plural in Hebrew. So anyway, I think I lost it a little here, but anyway, let's see if we can get on track here again. Just begin to read the Bible and figure out who Jesus Christ is and who the Antichrist is. It's like, it's like people don't want to know the truth. They want to run them, they want to run, wild in, so many different directions, And Satan have you covered, Oh, you want to be deceived and lied? Hey, I have a deception for you, Whichever direction you want to take it, as long as it's not in regards to Jesus Christ and all that. And they, the demons comes in so many disguises, They come as gods. They come as, good spirits and bad spirits, They come as, what do you call it? Old, the dead family members. They come as aliens. They come as higher self. They apparently also seem to come as a fungi. I don't know about that. But anyway, they come in many disguises. Whatever they can do to deceive you, they will use that, So, I don't know. So just be careful, just because you observe something spiritual does not mean it's from God. It's like, when you're in the occult, Satan's candy shop and all that, and experience some of, actually, of course, you don't need to actually, you could be in Satan's candy store anyway, right? And not really, but anyway, if you are in the occult and you figure, you have these experiences, having contact with these entities, these demons, that you probably won't know that are demons because they come in these many disguises and all that. And then you're led astray into falsehood, and, there's the greatest deception is, having truth and mixing it with lies and, and in regards of who is Jesus, who is Jesus Christ, right? Who is Jesus? That's the big question. Jesus, or Yeshua, which is the real Hebrew name, Yeshua asked his disciples, "Who do you say I am?" Well, what did Peter answer? He asked them all, and Peter answered, "Well, you are the Son of the living God." So, and Yeshua says, "Yep, you got it, you got it, you got it, you got it." Anyway, so Jesus is God, and he's coming again, and he was executed. So for the sins of the world, once and for all, not in a perpetual and continual sacrifice like it's happening in the Roman Catholic whorehouses. They think they sacrifice Jesus all over again, and I'm speaking so much, I'm apparently spitting as well. It's like, whatever. Anyway, I guess I'm getting a little forceful in my speech, so who cares? No one wants to hear it anyway, right? Everybody just wants to be deceived, right? I remember I looked at something yesterday in regards to my Facebook, and that was when I, years ago when I studied in regards of all these deceptions of Jesus. And let's see if I can find one of the, from years ago. I've forgotten some of the things. It's like a cup. And every time I feel something in the cup, it's just, something seems to go out of it. There's so many things, and it's incredible. Oh yeah, some more gas. I guess the garlic is really doing its thing. I've been eating a lot of garlic. Any case, let's go back and see Jesus versions. No, Jesus. Oh yeah, we have the let's see if we can actually psychedelic mushroom. Should maybe if I probably didn't write that correctly. So anyway, so people don't know who the last day, what the last day is, and they're keeping these stupidity traditions and believing that Jesus is a fungi, a psychedelic mushroom, or that he's the literal son, or that he's a mystic from Egypt, or a guru from India, or a druid from England, or an ascended master, one of many, or just one of few enlightened people in the world like Muhammad or Buddha and all that. It just goes on and on and on with this pagan or these lying bullshit stories, you know. Let's see here. Some of on my Facebook here. Let's see here. Lies. I'm writing here. Yeah, okay. Where is I should have something more searches. Psychedelic. Oh, that's from my days in the occult. Oh, here we go. So this is from 2007. Let's just stop the fan. So it's so that's not making. Here we go. There are some of the versions that are, you know, from the past that are. This is written 2017. Jesus the Shaman. Oh, that's a new one I haven't heard of before. And sick, you know. Who do they say I am? That's what Jesus is asking, you know, his disciples. Who do they say I am, you know? And, you know, they respond, you know, some say you was one of the prophets and this and that. I can't remember. Whatever. So, let's see here. Jesus, a resurrected prophet of old. Jesus, the resurrected John the Baptist. Jesus, the Egyptian mystic. Jesus, the Indian guru. Jesus, the druid from England. Jesus, the prophet like many others and no more. Jesus, the ascended master, one of many. Jesus, the psychedelic mushroom. Jesus, the literal sun. Jesus the jinn, Jesus the Christ consciousness, Jesus the literal bread and wine, Jesus the just one of many who reach enlightenment, Jesus the good man but nothing more. But who do you say I am? He asked his disciples. You are the Christ, the Son of the living God. Amen. So, when you know, why would you ever trust a version coming after the first? You know, if you don't trust the first version that came around, you know, in regards of Jesus, if you don't believe that to be true in regards of Jesus walking on this earth, being executed for the sins of the world and so forth, if you do not believe that, why would you believe any other story that came afterwards? Yeah, it's just, I don't understand it. Why do you people want to, you know, commit to something, you know, utterly bullshit afterwards? That is not, absolutely not true. Because, you know, why would you, you know, I just, you know, if someone, you know, if there's books written, let's say there's a book written, let's say I write a book about myself or whatever, and then 100 years down the line, someone else write a book about me, you know, saying something that I absolutely wasn't and all that, you know, just making something up. Why would anyone believe that compared to the things that I wrote myself or that some other actually wrote that knew me, you know? It's just, it doesn't make sense. It's just crazy daisy. It's insane. But anyway, that's apparently how people want it today. It's just incredible. Yeah. Anyway, it's just... So we have in regards to star signs, you know, pagan bullshit and all that, just throw it away and all that. Oh, but my star sign says this and that about me, so I can't change because, it's just how I am, you know. I was born this way, so I can't change. That's utter bullshit. Utter bullshit. Anyway, utter pagan bullshit, nothing to do with the Bible and all that. And then, of course, one of the other deceptions, that the Bible is in regards of all these star signs and all, whatever. Now, give me a break. And that Jesus is the literal sun on the sky and that his apostles are, you know, different planets and all. Oh, give me a break. You know, it's incredible. One lie after another and just continues and continues and continues. And people really believe these things. It's amazing how people will believe this bullshit, you know. How they won't believe the first version, you know, that we have historical, what is it called, historical evidence for and all that. No, we don't want to have that. We want to have all these fake versions. We want to believe in all these fake versions. And there seems to be no end of these fake versions. Incredible. Anyway, so the first thing, figure out who Jesus Christ is. I would, you know, advise people to read the book of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And there's a great movie in regards of the Gospel of John. You know, if you want to have something you want to see in regards to, there's so much, there's so many bad movies in regards to the Bible, which actually don't stand on the Bible. And this is the best version that I know of. It's called the Gospel of John. It's keeping to the Bible text directly and doesn't go too far off in regards to straying from what is actually in the Bible itself. So this is I would suggest this one if you want to have a video thing and all that. But besides that, you can read the book of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. These are 4 books about one single gospel. So, from the 1st century. But, people don't want to believe those. They want to believe, things that comes, down the line, and all the new versions as well. People can say, yeah, I believe in Jesus. Might not be in regards of the historical Jesus, that was prophesied to come and all that, 29.5 AD and so forward in the Roman time calendar and all that. And that's another thing in regards to the festivals, right? The festivals that is being promoted in this world in regards to Christmas, Easter, Halloween, and Sunday my this and Sunday my that bullshit and all that. Well, it's not biblical. It's not the festivals found in the Bible. So what is the festivals found in the Bible? Well, something called Passover. Now, the so-called Passover that some believe that we're keeping today is in regards of Easter. In English, they still call it Easter. This is Roman tradition and has nothing to do with the Torah. You have the first 5 books of Moses, and that would be the festivals that Jesus, the Master, kept, So, anyway, he was a Jew. And he walked among his own. He was keeping the traditions of Jehovah in regards of Passover, 7 days of unleavened bread, counting to Shavuot, which is the festival of weeks. He would have kept the Day of Trumpets, the Day of Atonement, the festival of Sukkot, and the last great day. And we don't keep those. We keep things according to a Roman pagan calendar. So we're not even keeping according to we're keeping a pagan New Year in the winter. Well, we're keeping the pagan New Year in winter in regards of the false god of Janus, which looks in both directions and so forward. And by the way, Christmas in regards of Sol Invictus, the birth of Sol Invictus again, it has many other names and all that, but that's pretty much, why are we keeping these things? Oh, but it's about Jesus, they say. Oh, you don't think the festivals of Jehovah found in the Bible itself is about Yeshua? You don't think that would be, Oh, we can't celebrate him on those days that he kept and that is, written in the law. Oh, you're not allowed. Oh, now you're a Judaizer. No. Well, better a Judaizer than a Romanizer, okay? Because you see, down through history, we have had a lot of Romanizing, Roman Catholicism, full of pagan bullshit. Anyway, and just the old Roman religion of, the mystery religion of Rome, the old Roman religion. Just put some, Christianity on it, paint some Christianity on the front and, see, there we go. There we have Christianity. Oh, what other bullshit. Bullshit. Anyway, now and they're promoting yoga as well. We see yoga being promoted in the world. Now, what is yoga? Well, yoga is Hinduism. Hey, you want to fill yourself up with demons? Have a go at yoga, I wouldn't touch it with anything. I was like, what is it called? Touch it with whatever. Yoga is Hinduism. If you want to open yourself up to demons, well, I wouldn't suggest it, okay? But have a blast, whatever, It's just stupid. It's just insanely stupid to go that direction, okay? If you do yoga and you get into spiritual things, issues and all that, stop doing yoga. I remember I was in this Kundalini crisis meeting and all that. And the Kundalini is the snake that you have in the so-called root chakra. And the idea is then to get this, thing, this Kundalini up, this, and they, some even believe that it's the Holy Spirit. Oh, what other nonsense! It's bullshit! It's satanic bullshit. Now let's see, we have the spirit of lie compared to the spirit of truth. One comes from below and the other comes from above. One is represented as a snake, the other represented as a dove. One is an unclean animal, the other is a clean animal. Anyway, you can go on, whatever. So you have so many lies and deceptions out there. It's just incredible. People it's just full of bullshit. Full of pagan bullshit. Anyway, so you do the yoga thing, and in regards to the snake, isn't it interesting that it's actually, pointed out as a snake? You see all these pagan religions and things, and, they have the dragon and the snake and all that. And if you know the Bible and all that, that are symbols of the devil. So... the broad way that leads to destruction, right? The broad way, it's very broad, many kind of flavors, and instead of the narrow road to everlasting life, there's only one way to the Father in the heavens, not in regards of the man in the office of the papacy, that is the Antichrist. No, there's only one Father and one way to the Father, and that's through his Son, okay? Anyway, and he's not a cookie. He was walking on this earth in a literal body, was slain as the perfect, spotless, sinless lamb, was slain on the tree. He was lifted up, slain, and the living bread was broken, and his wine poured out for the sins of the world. Once and for all, not continually, once and for all. We do it in remembrance in regards of breaking the bread and drinking a little wine, okay? That's to remember what he did for us in the past. It is not a continual sacrifice. It's just stupid. It's just stupid. Pagan bullshit, Anyway, of course, the Catholic Church have murdered a huge amount of people rejecting the cookie Jesus, their wafer God, their bullshit, pretty much. Anyway. But no one tends to, if you speak against it, you're anti-Catholic and, Catholic, Catholic hater or whatever, it's the truth. That's the thing it is. And every single Protestant knew it in the past. And now the Protestants are running back to the Antichrist. The whole world is rounding around the Antichrist. Oh, yeah. Anyway, of course it continues, of course. We have a lot more, People go to the shamans to get this, spiritual experience, And the shamans is there to, keep off the so-called bad spirits. And then the so-called good spirits are only allowed to, do the thing in regards of the spiritual experience and all that, whatever, and heal them and whatever. That's bullshit. It's demons. It's demons playing this game of deceiving people, and it's working. It's very powerful. And maybe that's why God didn't want us to, go into these things. Oh yeah, that was in regards. In regards of yoga. I was at this Kundalini. I got off topic here. So I was at this Kundalini, spiritual crisis thing and all that. I didn't really have spiritual issues myself and all that, but I was I was on the wrong track for sure, but I didn't really have any spiritual issues as such. So I went to this place just to talk to other people that understood in regards of the spiritual thing and all that, and not just think you're a nutcase. And one of them came, and a woman beginning to do yoga. And what is yoga again? It's Hinduism. It's paganism, okay? It's the road of Satan. And she didn't believe in any spiritual things. Guess what happened to her? Spiritual things began. And she couldn't stop it, so she came to this spiritual, help, whatever you want to call it, help group, So she came to this group to get some help. You know, and I gave her some really, really bad advice because at that point I believed, oh, you're just evolving into the God state, right? Anyway, I was so deceived and deluded at that point, you know. Any case, so what should the suggestion be if you're having spiritual issues, things that is actually going on? And well, of course, she also had gotten some, in regards of the so-called master of this guru class, she had gotten some, she was told that, what was it? In regards to just keep continuing to do it or something like that. And I'm like, hey, if you put your hand in the fire and it hurts, stop putting your hand in the fire. Take it out, The first thing you do is take the hand out of the fire and, don't do these things, What started the thing in regards to these spiritual, things? Well, you did, you're doing yoga, Hinduism. You're doing paganism. There's a way of Satan. So what to do? Well, stop doing it. Don't take the hand out of the fire. The same thing with Roman Catholicism in regards to the demons also come as aliens, by the way. And it was like, they come in many disguises. Again, it doesn't really matter as long as they can deceive you. The idea is just to lead you astray. So, and some of these entities, as far as my experience goes, and the research that I've done, are very, very, very clever deceivers, okay? And it can be very, very, deep. I was so deceived and deluded. It's amazing that I ever came out of it. Anyway, so, what was it in regards of, I think I lost it in regards of, let's see if I can catch it again. Something in regards of what? What was it? In regards of, we got into yoga, we got into, I lost it. I lost it, apparently. What was it? I just lost it. Not, I guess maybe it will pop up again. Oh, something, what was it? Oh, why can't I? Anyway, the new moon is still there, so that's nice. Again, so when the moon is full, you are in the middle of the month, okay? So you use the moon to find out where you are in the month. Month, moon, and so forward. In Denmark, it's like måne, it's the words are very like, maybe there's a connection there. Before we actually got this, Roman calendar and all that just totally messes up in regards of the month. So, but anyway, you can see it's still there. Maybe you can still see it it's hanging right okay, let's see how. Oh no, how it's okay. Maybe I just there we go. That's the moon. Anyway, the new moon. So you can keep track on time by knowing in regards to the moon. If it's in the beginning, or if it's full, or if it's actually going, becoming smaller again. So it's very nice, very nice. Apparently Satan destroyed that way of. That was in regards to the woman, right? In regards of the fixing yoga and all that. Oh yeah, taking out the hand and the aliens topic. Okay, the aliens. So, in regards of aliens. They have figured out that the only thing that can stop an alien abduction, so-called alien abduction experience, is actually calling on the name of Jesus Christ, or Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ, Jesus. So, why would that be? Why would it be that the only thing that actually can stop these these experiences of abduction be to call on Jesus Christ? Isn't that interesting? Maybe because it's demonic activity and that you have maybe opened the doors to do something. I remember one of these, they had a lecture on it where people had these, alien abductions, and they were talking about this in regards of calling on Jesus, and it would stop the abduction experience and all that. Now, one of them was a Roman Catholic. Now, and she said it actually had helped, but it was seemingly still happening to her, but it had helped her a lot, she said, But what was she doing? Well, she talked about doing the rosary of the Roman Catholic whole system. So she's doing the rosary. She's opening the door again to these demonic entities. These demonic. Stop doing that. Stop doing the rosary. Throw it away. Throw it in the trash. Burn it. Get it away. This other bullshit, you have the Roman Catholics doing the rosary, and you have the Mohammedans doing the, thing as well. And you have the Hindus and the Buddhists and the New Agers. Oh, we have these pearls. Won't help you a thing, It's just pagan bullshit. And they have, slightly, differences. You have the mantra, or you have the 99 or 69 names of so-called God. That's the Mohammedans. And then, of course, in regards of the Mary bullshit and all that, you have, let's see, how was it? I have like 5 mysteries or whatever. I can't remember how it was. I knew it at some point. You can go look it up if you want to figure it out. Doesn't really matter. Just don't do it. That's pretty much it. The thing is, we can know so much in regards to the world. We can know so many things, And it doesn't really, you can know all the versions, all the fake versions of Jesus Christ. But if you don't know what the real version is, it doesn't really matter. You're not really closer to the truth, are you? But if you know the truth about Jesus Christ, then you can discount all the rest. You don't need to know anything about this bullshit. You don't need to know about, that, no, Jesus is only a prophet and all that. Bullshit! Not true! Oh, Jesus is just a cookie. Bullshit! Not true! Oh, Jesus is an ascended master, one of many. Bullshit! Not true! It's just bullshit, So if you know who Jesus actually is, who walked among his own and all that and was executed for the sins of the world, and some of these, people comes around and say, oh, but Jesus is this, Jesus is that, Jesus is a psychedelic mushroom. You can say bullshit. It's all a bullshit. That's what it is. Anyway, of course you could say it a little nicer, but it's all a bullshit, And sometimes I guess I'm a little square in regards of a little. I'm just tired of the bullshit, And people say, no, Jesus is not God. Bullshit! These so-called Jehovah's Witnesses that are running around, oh, Jesus is not God. We believe in Jehovah and all that. Bullshit! You reject him! Because Jesus is Jehovah. He is God Almighty who died and resurrected, and it's a book of Revelation. I can easily find it, actually. I have the website on my page, it's just incredible. There's no historical support for it either, and they would just do anything to discount that Jesus is God Almighty Jehovah, because they only believe that it's give me a break. Jesus is God Almighty. There we go. Almighty.life. It should be, I haven't really done much on the webpage. So many things to do and so many things to research and all that. But I think I put some of the notes from years ago and all that. Do not be afraid, I'm the first and the last and the living one. While the living one is in regards of God. And I became dead. Who became dead? Jesus became dead. And see, I'm living forever and ever. Who is that? Well, let's go to Isaiah, right? Or Yeshayahu in Hebrew. I, Jehovah, am the first and even the last. I am he. So who is talking down here? The first and the last. That's Jesus talking. He is Jehovah, who was, is, and is to come. Anyway, and we have, multiple things in regards of, and to the messenger of the assembly in Smyrna, right? This says the first and the last who became dead and came to life. Well, who is the first and the last? Well, we go to Isaiah again, or Yeshayahu. Listen to me, O Yaakov, that's Jacob, and Yisrael. My called, I am he. I am the first, I am the last. So who is the first and the last? Jehovah is the first and the last, who was dead and became alive forevermore. I am living forever and ever. Yeshua, Jesus is God Almighty. Have to be kidding me, people, running around and saying that Jesus is not God. You have to be kidding me. And of course, well, actually, they don't really say that. They just, when I figured out that Jesus was God, I was like, hey, I found out Jesus was God. And they really, I was talking to some of them at that point. Anyway, That's another story. Thus said Jehovah, sovereign of Israel and his Redeemer, Jehovah of hosts, I am the first and I am the last. Besides me there is no gods. Actually plural, that's Elohim. But anyway, usually it's translated as God. Well, anyway, I am the Aleph and the Tav, or the Alpha and the Omega, beginning and end, says Jehovah, who is and who was and who is to come, the Almighty. Now, of course, this version is probably from the scripture or Hallelujah, I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, who is and who was and who is to come. Who was? Well, Jesus was. Anyway, and as I understand it from the Jews, Jehovah itself means who, let's see here, Haya, I have it over here at some point here, let's see, written down. Haya, Haveh, Yeh, who was, is, and is to come, pretty much, So, anyway, and see, I'm coming speedily, and my reward is with me to give to each according to his work. I am the Aleph and the Tav, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. So who is the Aleph and Tav? Well, that's compared to the first and the last, right? The beginning and the end. So when you go back again, you can see all these... anyway. So this is just, notes from years ago when I met all these people that didn't believe that Jesus was God. I'm like, what are you talking about? Jesus not being God. And they can be very, very vicious, That's incredible how, they call themselves Christians and can become very, 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 very vicious. And I was in Jerusalem and I just met a huge amount of people not believing that Jesus was God and actually trying to, get people not to believe it. It's just incredible. It's incredible. Anyway, so is Jesus God? Yeah, Jesus is God. The Word was with God and everything that was created through Him, and nothing that was... what is it called? I can't remember. Read the book of John. It's just, I can't remember. It's like word for word. It's just, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. It was just wonderful. It's the beginning of the book of John, the Gospel of John, which actually it's just one main gospel in the 4 books, witnessing in regards of Jesus, dying on the tree and all that. And the Jews know they executed him. And then, of course, the false prophet Muhammad comes nearly 600 years after the event and say, no, the Jews didn't execute him. Are you kidding me? Why would you ever, follow a bullshitter like that? Apparently. 1.8 billion people following Muhammad, thinking he's the most perfect example to follow. Are you kidding me? How much screwed up do you need to be up here to believe that? The man had sex with a 9-year young girl when he was 54 years old. And you think it's the perfect example the perfect model to follow after? You have to be kidding me. Apparently not. Apparently people actually believe these things. It's just incredible. 1.8 billion. And then they say, oh, but we have 1.8 billion Mohammedans. So we have to have the truth. It's not a number game. Hey, do you realize how many that survived the worldwide flood? 8 people! It's not a number game. It's not a democracy, okay? It's a kingdom, and the king rules and decide. So, anyway, so in regards of yoga and all that, I just stopped doing it. In regards of alien abductions and all that, if you have any problems with that, call on the name of Jesus Christ to help you in regards to these matters, and stop doing whatever occult practice you're doing. If you're doing something stupid like worshiping, whatever, and bowing down before an idol or image or something like that or whatever, stop doing it. Just throw it out, If you have an idol or an image or something like that, destroy it, burn it, take a hammer and just get it, whatever. Do some iconoclasm, right? Just destroy it. That's the big word for, destroying idols and images and all that. Just get it out of your house. Get rid of it. Don't give it away. Just destroy it. Pagan god, whatever, destroy it, get it out of your house. And it's like a spiritual turd, it seems like it attracts demons, whatever the case. Just get it out of your house. It's just, anyway. Of course, there can be other things, just destroy this bullshit, shrine for whatever, It doesn't matter if it's a shrine to so-called Mary or the fake Mary of the Roman Catholics. it seems like a lot of these doctrines of Mary in regards to the Roman Catholics and the Mohammedans are pretty much the same. You know, they believe that you went to heaven, everlasting queen, and I think what was I wrote it down. I'm sorry, my memory is just, there's so much bullshit out there, and Mary was not an everlasting virgin, okay? Joseph, her husband, knew her. That is to say in plain words that he had sex with his wife, okay? Do you get that? Just read the beginning of the book of Matthew. Just compute it. Just read, the 2 first pages or something like that. Joseph did not know his wife until after Jesus was born, okay? After Yeshua was born. Can you get that in your mind instead of, running with the devil? Had to be kidding me. Anyway, so that's just one of the things, It just continues and continues and continues and continues. So, anyway, it's not really hard, is it? Just open the Bible, the beginning of Matthew, read the around 2 pages, the first 2 pages, and think. Think for yourself and just, instead of running with this system of the whole, riding the beast. Anyway, and the thing is, what is the last beast according to Daniel? What is the last beast? It's Roman. You have the Babylonian, you have the Medo-Persians, you have the Greeks, and then what comes after it? Rome! It's Romanism. And what does Roman Catholicism call itself? Roman Catholicism, right? Yeah. And first and foremost, they have the authority in regards of the Antichrist, the Roman Antichrist, with the number of 666. Okay, let's see. Then of course we have, I have so much else of bullshit in the occult world. I can go back in my Facebook and look at all that. A lot of the things I've happily forgotten. Because I don't need all that bullshit. But anyway, you have things like alchemy as well. I remember in regards of alchemy, that's that some guy had been taught alchemy, and he had been taught it by one of these so-called priests, and he said, well, I was taught by a man of God. And there's multiple of these stories. You can find a lot of stories in regards of all this pagan bullshit. You really have to be aware. Jesus warned us about wolves in sheep clothing, so you have to be aware that, hey, there's probably wolves in sheep clothing out there, because Jesus, our master, warned us about these people. He didn't warn us about people like Muhammad, because Muhammad pretty much is just a plain stinking wolf. So that shouldn't be a problem. He's a false prophet. I don't care if you're 1.8 billion or more Mohammedans. I don't really care. You're wrong. The truth doesn't change just because you're 1.8 billion Mohammedans. Or in regards to the Roman Catholics, that you are like a billion or whatever. How many are, according to this, in regards of 2000, there was nearly 1 million Roman Catholics. That's probably more in our days. And of course the Protestants, I'm not sure how much Protestant there actually is left in regards to the Protestants. Do they even know who the Antichrist is? It doesn't seem so, does it? It seems like they're running back to the same, I'm apparently, drooling a little here and all that. Whatever, there could be a lot worse things in this world. I guess I'm looking down and speaking a little loud and all that, and just, the fluids just gets out there. Anyway, so you have, alchemy and satanic meditation and, all these practices that is getting popular in regards of the so-called New Age and whatever. People are opening themselves up to demons on so many levels, and yeah, it's just sad. Anyway, so can we change these things? Absolutely. We can actually change a lot of things pretty quickly and get on the right track if somebody cared. But apparently no one seems to care, or very few. It's incredible. And now now in Denmark, it's like on other places, they're like, oh, but Christmas is not biblical. Go read the Bible. Of course, if you're a pagan, you don't care about that either anyway. Isn't it interesting that people are like, they will say, it doesn't matter. When you begin to find out it's actually pagan and you stop doing it, you don't want to be part of this pagan bullshit. And they will say, but it's just, it's just a thing, and it's just not really, this and that, and you suggest, hey, let's do these festivals that is found in the Bible, and say, oh, no. Hey, didn't you say it didn't matter for you, just a, come together thing and all that? Apparently it does matter. And pagans don't have any problems with keeping Christmas, Easter, and Halloween, and the rest of the bullshit out there. But if you bring to the table, the Jewish festivals, or whatever you want to call them, those things that are actually found in the Bible that Jesus, the Jew, actually kept. Now you're Judaizing. Yeah, great. It's on time that we should Judaize a little instead of Romanize. So much Roman bullshit out there. Let's get some Judaizing going. It's like, this word Judaizing and all that. It's like, then it's bad. I've seen, for example, John Chrysostom in the 4th century, how he uses these things and attacking the Jews and the Judaizers, the Gentiles that, think it might be a, good idea to keep a hold on these festivals that Jesus himself kept. Because we're disciples of the Master. And as disciples of the Master, we should become as the Master himself, right? The pagan seems to know that. In regards of if they go to a guru, so-called guru in India, the goal is to become like the guru, to open yourself up to all these demons and do these wicked practices and all that. Anyway. So this is John Chrysostom from the 4th century, and it's called Against the Jews. I've read all the 5 sermons of this, or whatever you want to call it, and it's disgusting. It's utterly disgusting. Now, it's not all of it, but, he's attacking those people wanting to keep the, this is after 325. This is 386 to 387. So this is after the Nicene Council, and apparently there's still people keeping to the festivals that is written in the Bible. And he has a problem with that. Does he have any problem with Christ Mass? No, because he's actually beginning to promote Christ Mass. Because as he says, Rome knew this in regards of the birth of Jesus and all that. So, so let's keep that. But in regards to the Jewish traditions, that's apparently no-go. You see the devil acting here? You see the devil doing his work, thinking to change times and laws and all that? It's utter bullshit, Who cares about what the Antichrist believes? I don't care about it. He doesn't have any authority over any Christian, He thinks he have the authority. Isn't it actually very clever of the devil to put him in the middle of Christianity and to end up being the one that is seen as the head, when he's actually just the high pagan priest, of Satanism, So why would we Christians ever listen to that guy? I don't know, but apparently a lot of people's like, the so-called Pope also says that and this and that and what. I don't care what he says. It's full of bullshit, Anyway, but isn't it much better to go back to the so-called mother, mother? In regards to the mother, what an insanity. Mother of what? Well, maybe, mother of paganism. Not the mother of Christianity, because the mother congregation of Christianity was in Jerusalem. That was the Nazarenes that, by the way, was condemned as heretics by the other mother, of Rome. They condemned the Nazarenes as heretics. It's insane. They're out. It's just insane. The first believers in Yeshua, in Jesus, they condemned as heretics. How can you condemn the first believers as heretics? They believed the same thing in regards to Jesus. They believed he was born by a virgin, that he was the Son of God, and God in flesh, and so forward. So why would the Roman Catholic insane asylum condemn them as heretics? Well, they kept the law of Moses. It has to. Oh, that's so devilish, right? They're just Jews keeping the law of Jehovah. That's apparently very bad, very bad. So bad, so you actually is condemned as a heretic. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, it's just insane, utterly insane. Get away from me, this disgusting system. So anyway, is there any other? So you have all these different pagan traditions. And again, you don't actually need to know about these pagan traditions. Because of course, it's always nice to actually do your own research and figure out, he's right, actually, it is pagan. But what you need to know is found in this book. In regards to the Bible, you read the first 5 books of Moses and figure out what actually is in there in regards of festivals. And and then you couldn't care about the rest, It doesn't matter with the rest. Who cares about the rest of the pagan bullshit, It's incredible when people say to me that, I know it's pagan and all that, why are you then continuing to do it, You're part of the lie. You're part of the deception. And it's just getting more and more. It's like, the churches out there, they're like, that's another pagan holiday. Woo, let's get it into the church. And then you come, hey, the Bible said, you're Judaizers. That's this extreme legalist. Get away from us. We don't want that in the church. Get away. That's another pagan holiday. Let's get it in here. Get it in here. Actually, the churches end up being promoters of these pagan insanities. And it's like always an excuse, right? Always an excuse for, and hanging up all these, false gods in the churches in regards of gnomes and all that. That's old house gods and all that. Let's just hang them up around the church and all that. Have a Christmas tree or juletræ, as we call it in Danish and all that. And of course, we know in regards to Yule, goes back to Odin and all that. So paganism again. Anyway, Satan claws, Easter rabbits, and egg-laying eggs and all that, right? And the tooth fairy and gnomes and whatever bullshit is out there. You have to be kidding me. Why are you people wanting to have these things? It's like, it sounds pretty good. Yeah, but don't Judaize. Don't Judaize. Well, Jesus was a Jew. He didn't keep all these bullshit pagan stupidities, and empty air or whatever. It's just incredible. Anyway, so I guess that was a little, there's so many other topics, and my brain just can't, remember everything, and, it's just, be careful of Paul in the New Testament as well. Jesus warned us about wolves in sheep clothing that, if possible, could deceive the elect. All Asia, that is nowadays Turkey, actually the West Turkey, which is pretty much just Mohammedans now, pagan Mohammedans. But anyway, that area was a great place for around 200 years of truth. And they had a great struggle with Rome and all that. And as we see, Rome won out over time. But anyway, in any case, all Asia rejected Paul. He says that in his own letter. That's 2 Timothy, I think, 1:15. Go look it up, Actually, we could look it up for ourselves, So why would all Asia, which is one of the places that Paul was teaching like 2 or 3 years in regards of Ephesus, why would they reject the great apostle Paul? Yeah, well, maybe there was some problems with this guy. Anyway, so we can see, let's see here if we can actually go to it. Bum 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 bum. So bum 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 bum. 2 Timothy 1:15, and as I understand, it's actually the last letter that Paul wrote. So this is in his in, then I push 16 instead of 15. There we go. This is from Paul. You know, that a lot of people ends up only reading his letters, and while they are reading only his letters, they end up in total lawlessness. And that's a bad thing, you know, because Jesus is warning us about that in the book of Matthew. That there will be people saying, Lord, Lord, haven't we done wonderful things in your name, driven out demons in your name, prophesied in your name, and so forward and so forward. And what does Yeshua say to them? Depart from me. Let's see. Verily, verily, or truly, truly, I tell you, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity, lawlessness, ye that are without the law. Which law is Jesus talking about? Anyway, so this thou knowest, this is Paul or Paulus speaking. This thou knowest, that all they which are in Asia, that is in regards of nowadays Turkey, and all that, Asia Minor, be turned away from me. Is it so hard to grasp that he's saying that, hey, they turned away from me? Anyway, apparently that can be a little hard for some people to actually understand. And then you go to the book of Revelation, 2:2, chapter 2, number 2, verse 2 and all that. And in regards of Ephesus, Jesus, making John the apostle write to the 7 congregation in Asia. So there's still, people in Asia Minor, that is believers in Jesus Christ. Anyway, that would be Revelation 2:2. Let's see, 2:2. Let's see. This is this is one of the letters to the church of Ephesus, or the congregation of Ephesus. Unto the angel or messenger of the church of Ephesus, or congregation of Ephesus, write these things, saith he that holdeth the 7 stars in his right hand, who walketh in the midst of the 7 golden candlesticks. I know thy works, and thy labor, and thy patience, and how thou canst not bear them which are evil, and thou hast tried them which say they are apostles, and are not, and hast found them liars. I do wonder who that could be. I guess it's just a coincidence that all Asia rejected Paul, according to himself. Anyway, I guess, Of course, he was teaching that it was okay to eat anything and everything, right? Which Jesus is rebuking in at least two of the letters of the 7 letters in the book of Revelation. So, who are you going to trust? Are you going to trust Jesus or Paul? I'll go with Jesus, okay? Anyway, that's pretty much, yeah. A Roman Pharisee. Any case, so, of course, that's not to say that one cannot use his letters. One just have to be careful, extremely careful, that one is not getting some, yeast with it, So, anyway, but as you see, a huge amount of people get into lawlessness and actually gets into the action of attacking the law of Jehovah. And, and promoting all that pagan bullshit of Christmas and Easter and Halloween and all that. And they are nearly ready to burn you at the stake if you talk about anything in regards to the festivals found in the Bible that, as far as I can see, they actually kept in Asia Minor. One of the biggest conflicts that we have documentation on, at least as far as I can see, is in regards to the Easter and Passover conflict. You see, again, they kept the festival of Passover according to the Bible in Asia Minor, where they had John the Apostle and Philip the Apostle in the area. 2 people we know walked, talked, and ate with Jesus Christ. And, but anyway, and other disciples was probably in that area. That seems very likable, But anyway, we know Paul was also in that area, but apparently he's not, one of the letters we have that is a wonderful letter. It's interesting that this guy mentions, Apostle John, Yohanan, Apostle Philip, and a lot of others, But hey, you tend to forget the great Apostle Paul. That's very interesting, isn't it? writing to Bishop Victor in Rome. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of me. Anyway, so Polycarp in the, I think it's the beginning of the 2nd century. I can't remember the year totally, but anyway, Polycarp goes to Rome to correct them, because in Rome they're doing this Easter thing, they're doing it wrong, but apparently because they had been taught that in Rome, they held to this, apparently this thing. I don't know who could have taught something wrong like that. I don't know. I guess I have one that I could maybe, think of, but I don't know, So that's, but in any case, so they have wrong traditions in Rome, and Polycarp goes to correct them, and sadly they don't work and all that, and because apparently they had this tradition from the past, and that was what they got, and thereby they will keep it. Apparently they won't go to the Bible and have a look, Let's have the authority of the Bible say if who's wrong and who is right, okay? Apparently that doesn't work. Anyway, Polycarp returns, and later on he's actually martyred. But anyway, that's another story of itself, I guess. And then later on, Bishop Victor in Rome thinks it's apparently outrageous that the churches in Asia Minor is keeping to the Bible in regards of Passover. So the traditions of Rome, he wants them to keep the traditions of Rome. So he writes to them, apparently, and it's apparently not a sweet letter, because we have the response letter, and it's a wonderful letter. It ends with, you should fear God more than man. So it seems like Bishop Victor might have, made some threats against them. In any case, it's a wonderful letter. There's at least 4 things I think that is just, that you perceive by reading the letter. It's very, that the Bishop of Rome doesn't have any authority above the scripture and all that. There's no, of course I saw Catholic in a debate try to actually use the Roman bishop already have authority and blah blah bullshit and all that. Of course it fails to the ground when you actually read the letter back to Bishop Victor in regards of that so-called authority. Anyway, so they write back in regards of, the Apostle John, the Apostle Philip, kept to the Passover according to the scriptures, and so forward and so forward and so forward. Wonderful letter. I read that letter, I love it. I really love it. It shows so many things Anyway, so what happens apparently is Bishop Victor becomes very angry and wants to excommunicate them, like he has any authority to do that, right? But anyway, in any case, that's but anyway, then and this is later in the 2nd century. I can't remember the exact year and all that. Then in 325 we have the Nicene Council, and if I got the right document and all that, it says, it's like happy. We are now all in agreement to keep, the so-called Passover according to the tradition of Rome. Apparently not everybody, because if you actually read, John Chrysostom against the Jews, that is near in the end of the 4th century. And then you can see there's still people actually keeping, to the Bible. But anyway, it's incredible. We are now all in agreement to all be in error with Rome. Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it just wonderful? Let's all be in error, with, Rome, the traditions of Rome. That's bullshit. And you see the Christians have always been against, you see Protestants all throughout the ages. All throughout the ages, there's Protestant protesting against this system. Protestants are not something just coming up 500 years ago. That was a great revival of Protestantism. But you see Protestants all throughout the last near 2,000 years, So, it's as I see it, it's nothing new. There's always been people standing against this system. And some more gas out of Oh, the butthole. Oh, it's a wonderful English word. You know, butthole. It really had butthole. It's a magnificent word, I think. Anyway, yeah. Any case, so again, if you look at Christendom, and there's probably more material out there, because I just read a little here and a little there and so forward. There's if I went deeper into it and read, there's a huge amount of documents out there. To try to collect the puzzle pieces and so forth. Oh, that's a good. I guess it must be the garlic. Anyway, I also have research in regards to Paul, of course, because that was a topic that I was very interested in, and you can find different things, and but overall, if you just use the New Testament, it should be enough to, what is wrong with this guy, you go from the disciples of Christ to the focus of Paul, and this is Paul my this and Paul my that and Paul my whatever, and it's like, well, isn't it Jesus that we're told to follow after? Oh yeah. So let's just go with that, right? Anyway, so I do have some issues with Paul for sure. Anyway, lots of issues actually. It just seems the more you read the rest of the Bible and not the letters of Paul, the more issues you get with because you become more and more able to discern the things. And if I use something that Jesus said, and someone pulls a Paul on me, yeah, what Paul says, I don't care what Paul says. I care what Jesus says. Isn't that okay? To being a disciple of Jesus. Anyway, any case. Anything else? I guess there's a huge amount of other things, but again, I'm not entirely. Yeah, whatever. Of course, in regards to Paul, we have the thing with Marcion. Marcion collected the letters of Paul, according to what I know. So he collected the letters of Paul, and he got into a debate with Tertullian, and Tertullian and Melito, had a what shall we say, a debate with him. Sadly, Melito's material is lost, and I think we can thank Rome for that, because I think Melito had too much truth. He has too much light, and the Roman Catholic system don't, of course, like truth. They want to actually go in the opposite direction. So we have lost a huge amount of Melito's material. We do have some, and some of it I read is just, it's just wonderful. I would have loved to see more of the material of Melito, and apparently it seems to have been widespread at some point, that in regards of his books, and apparently they are lost. Maybe Rome has them in their library under the earth, who knows. But of course, I guess they, being the whore of the riding the beast and so forward, they might not like to actually have them out, We have other material that has been lost to history as well, that I would have loved to read. But yet, sadly, so-called lost to history. Again, I think we can thank Rome for that. Actually, it's the way of Rome doing things as well, as far as I can see. They like to write history, from the Roman perspective, right? Yeah, let's not have others actually tell us. But anyway, they don't like the doctrine of a 1,000-year reign on earth, which is written in the book of Revelation. You have the first resurrection, you have 1,000 years of rule on this earth, and then you have the second resurrection. So, but they apparently don't like that doctrine. So I remember something in regards of being anathematized if you believe in a 1,000-year reign and all that. So I guess that's one more feather for the hat in some sense, in regards of all the anathematizers I have from the Roman Catholic maniac insanity satanic system. I don't know how many there is, but that's a lot, Just, the Council of Trent in regards to if you don't believe the cookie Jesus and all that. Actually, we had a Jew that became a Christian. Now, of course, he's still a Jew because, but he, that was Keith Green. Keith Green was a Jew that turned to Christ. He was a singer, and he wrote something called The Catholic Chronicles by Keith Green. And he goes into that in regards to him. And then he died afterwards. There's speculations that might actually have been a murder in regards of sabotaging his airplane and so forward. Because, of course, that would be a problem for the Roman Catholic Church. And there's some, other things that is interesting that after he died, apparently his wife stopped the ministry that they had stopped. I saw, that was from a former Roman Catholic that used these pamphlets of Keith Green and wanted to buy more because he used it to hand out to Roman Catholics. And I saw the letter that he got back, and that sounds, you never know, these. It's incredible how wicked this world is. Apparently they said he was not allowed to make copies, and they didn't sell them anymore. It's like, that wouldn't have been the point of Keith Green. Keith Green would have liked to have the truth out. So that's just utter bullshit. So of course I'm not going to, you can find it on the internet. You can find his other people have put them forward and all that. And it's great. So it's incredible. How much bullshit is, you're not allowed to, are you kidding me? Did you, if Keith Green had been alive today, he would absolutely have thought that, hey, get it out there to the Roman Catholics. He was a Christian. He was, and he wanted the truth out there. So he was, anyway. So don't give me that bullshit. Don't give me that. And you can see, I have 3 sources that I've found where they have removed the information about the Roman Catholic Church. They're trying to hide who the Antichrist is and who the whore of Revelation is. This is another book that they removed it from. This is called the Haley's Bible Handbook, and I haven't read the chapter yet. Actually, I began to read it, and then I actually read it on YouTube, and I lost that because YouTube closed my channel down for hate speech. But anyway, Haley's Bible Handbook. This is an old version of it because they actually removed the chapter in regards to church history, and I can't remember what it's called, but so that's another example. There was one more that I had in the more modern days that they had removed information. What was that? There was one thing else. I had 3. Yeah. That was in regards of Walter Martin. Walter Martin that wrote the Book of the Cults, which, is silence about the Roman Catholic Church. And apparently Walter Martin seems to have been a defender of Roman Catholicism, actually. So he probably was just a wolf in sheep clothing. I would, so many things was like, there's something wrong here. Absolutely. And if you go on Alberto Rivera, he also talked about that. So I would agree, there's something fishy going on here in regards to that. Anyway, and Alberto Rivera was actually one of those that actually stood. He said he was a former Jesuit and all that, and people say he was not and all that, but he absolutely knew a huge amount, So it's incredible how much Alberto Rivera knew about things, It's incredible. So I don't know, some said, there was, people were attacking that he wasn't a Jesuit and all that. I don't know if he, I don't know how he could know all that he knew if he wasn't part of the system, He knew a huge amount. It's incredible how much he knew. And but anyway, he pointed that out as well. So, and I would agree there's something fishy going on here. So that was Alberto Rivera. He made some cartoons. Although when I had the cartoons, I was attacked spiritually. So I was kind of I had different kinds of magazines and all that, and I was I thought there's a lot of things in the cartoons that didn't seem, I would a lot of symbols, occult symbols, and all that. Now I can't remember in regards to Alberto Viveros how much that was in those. But I had a huge amount of these Jack Chick things and all that. So, but I was immensely attacked, and I thought I might actually have opened the door to. But anyway, I don't know. Anyway, in any case, Alberto Rivera knew a huge amount, and he was talking about the Antichrist. So at least he got that right. That's true. In regards to the Antichrist being the poop and all that. So whatever the case, that's. So Walter Martin, actually, in the beginning, because, he had to get some credit, right, from the Protestants, right? So he actually wrote a book, which is said that he actually didn't write any, and you cannot, it's really hard to find and so forward, and at least when I looked, it was really hard to find this book that he actually wrote. Now it has been released into the internet now. So that's nice, and I think I have it on my mobile and all that. But isn't it interesting that some would say, no, he didn't write it and so forward and all that? And yet, this is an old version of the Book of the Occult. It's, I don't know how old it is, but it has to be one of the first editions or something like that. It's called The Kingdom of the Occult. And here it is with, yellow letters. It's very old. It doesn't have a date on it, but according to the page number, you can see that it grows and grows in regards to the years, in regards to pages and all that. And this has a very low number of pages. So, but in the front, it actually says, this book that they talk about that he never wrote and all that. Well, so why would this book actually say that booklets, the Roman Catholic Church in History? So anyway, but if you go to the newer edition of it, that book will not be there. You see other books and all that. There's nothing in regards of the Catholic Church and all. Anyway, so but you can find that on the internet. I have it someplace on my mobile. I can't remember what it's called. Let's see if we can find it maybe. It should be on SD card. It should be audio, no video. It's not video. It's audio. It's either this one or the other one. But we have the Roman Catholic Church in History. I do wonder if that is the one. I think I have two with him. So one of them is the right one. That's a good question. I think these two are actually from the booklet. The Roman Catholic Church in History. Was that the name of the booklet? Let's see if we can find that again. Where did I go? That's over here. 2 seconds. So I just bought that old book just to see if the Roman Catholic Church in History, is that what? Yeah, so that's the one. So this one was released in the internet afterwards. I was looking for it, and one of the, I can't remember what he's called, but he didn't want me on his Facebook after I talked about Paul and all that. Anyway, whatever. But he released this where they read it all. And there's also a transcript and all that. I don't know if I have the transcript somewhere. But they had the booklet, and they, that's in regards to Walter Martin. So he absolutely did, write the booklet and all that. And as I understand, he actually also wrote another booklet in regards of the Mary stuff thing and all that. But again, Jesus warned us about wolves in sheep clothing and all that. So, but Alberto Rivera talked about that he had written something in regards of the Mary thing as well. But in any case, very interesting that he wouldn't have written the Roman Catholic, system, and that he actually was thinking that the Catholics was the brothers of the Christians, So brothers and sisters and all that. That seems it seems like more like an ecumenical thing, and trying to get us back to this wicked church. Another deception they use, and actually I remember Alberto Rivera was talking about some of the ways that they have in regards to deception, how they pretty much stops people from speaking about things, like saying, oh well, I know a lot of good Christians in the Roman Catholic Church, or that the Roman Catholics are Christians, and so forward and so forward. Different tactics that he would use also to discredit different real Christians and all that, nominations, and it's just disgusting. But anyway, and you see these tricks being used by Roman Catholics. What was it? Oh, my brain is a little fried, I guess. So many things, so many things. And these things was something that the Protestant grew up with. It was something that they knew, and apparently we lost. I don't know if it was because the Protestants sent their children in school system, that they got into the school system and then began to teach them something else without the knowledge of the parents. I don't know what happened, but apparently we lost a huge amount of knowledge and wisdom on these things. And now we don't know. Now we're just oblivious. We don't know. It's incredible. So anyway, that was 3 things where you could see that, where they have removed things. But overall, we have Protestant books and books and books of the past. And if just one book survives and you get it on the internet, it can spread. Now, of course, they try to get control over the internet as well. We've seen a lot of control being passed on the internet, sadly. It's a disgusting world, It's a disgusting world. They want full control over everything. So, and I think I lost the thing that we were talking about. In any case. And all the Christmas maniac things are happening, right? People are fixing up all the bullshit things. And teaching that children lies and deceptions about Satan Claus, right? Yeah, it's incredible. And if someone tells them the truth, it's funny how people react, I still remember, when I was smaller, and I was sitting at the children table at this family gathering, and I was talking to a little girl at this table in regards to Satan Claus not being real and all that, and she began to cry and become sad and so forth. But it's the truth, it's bullshit. These people are lying, Anyway, so I think she went to her father or something like that, and she came back, and she was certain as anything that Satan Claus was for real. I don't know what he told her, but I became the bad guy. I became the liar. I became the deceiver, apparently, while I was just telling her the truth. Think about how much, that's not okay. It's not okay to lie to our children, This is utter criminal, in regards, Satan Claus, Easter rabbits, Tooth Fairy, gnomes, and whatever else. What other bullshit? Why are we teaching our children that? It's like the whole world is in on the game to lie to the children. And then, the thing is, that when you figure out, that was a lie, that was a lie, that was a lie, and so forward, and you then end up putting Jesus in that category as well. Because why would we believe in Jesus when everything else, that they told you was a lie? And that's the satanic way, in regards of, that's then you fall for, then you end up rejecting the truth, in regards of Jesus Christ. It's very demonic, and it's very bad. You know, we shouldn't teach our children the truth. These deceptions. We should teach them the truth. In regards to the festivals found in the Bible, we don't need to lie to our children. Why would we lie to our children? Just tell them the truth. Oh, we can't tell them the truth. Oh no, apparently we want to tell them about Satan Claus, Easter rabbits, egg-laying rabbits and all that, or rabbits, or what do you call it, bunnies or whatever. That depends, I guess, from where you are from and all that. Anyway, and of course these pagan traditions are full of sugar, right? Because how do you get children interested in something? Fill them up with sugar, right? Sugar, and then of course they can get sick, and get all kinds of sicknesses and as well. It's just it's the demonic world we live in, people. It's like, but it's so cozy to keep Christ Mass, or so cozy to keep Easter, or so cozy to keep Halloween or whatever bullshit thing that is out there. Oh, so it couldn't be cozy to actually keep the real festivals of God. Oh, okay. I see, okay. It couldn't be, okay. Yeah, it's just always excuses. But I like Sunday better than Saturday. Oh, wait. So you're telling me, we couldn't just move the week one day, So Saturday is actually the last day. You just have, instead of Friday being the day that the weekend began, you couldn't have Thursday, in regards to the pagan ideas of the words and all that. You couldn't have Thursday being the last, and then you have 2 days, you have the day of preparation, and then you have the Sabbath. That's you can't have that? Oh, it's too hard? I like Sunday better. It's just, what's wrong with you people? You have to be kidding me. Just move the weekend this way, there, and have the Sunday being the first day of the week, which is the first day of the week. Is that too hard? Is that really too hard? You have to be kidding me. Care just a little. Just care a little bit, okay? Instead of just running with Satan and all his bullshit. And one thing is to not know, right? Because I didn't know all this bullshit, I guess it's like the Satan Claus and the Easter rabbit and all the bullshit and all that you figure out is just lies and deceptions and all that. And then you figure out later on that the whole world is pretty much just in for the pagan holidays, which is, why would I take part in those things? So anyway, and then you figure out that some people actually know it's paganism. And I'm like, well, why are you then just promoting it? Well, and it's just so cozy and this and that. Give me a break. Give me a break, people. How yeah, we know it's not just the paganism and all that. We just continue to do it. It's lies and deceptions. We're lying to our children. But hey, who cares about that, right? And if you actually tell them the truth, you are the evil guy. I'm the evil one for telling the truth. It's like the world is just a nut house, It's just turned upside down. I'm not going along with your lies. I'm not going along with your deceptions. I'm not going along with your bullshit. Because that is what it is. It's just incredible. And it's like, and I become the bad guy? You have to be kidding me. You really have to be kidding me. Maybe you should stop telling your children lies. It seems like a good idea. Stop telling them these deceptions. Tell them about Jesus Christ instead, at least. Instead of that bullshit, before they end up in Satan's candy store with all kinds of stupidity, because you just throw them into Satan's candy store and, hey, they'll figure it out for themselves. Hey, you're the parents. You should actually guide them in the right direction. Yeah. But no, apparently not. It's like, incredible. Just care a little. Anyway, I think I got off topic. I don't know. Anyway, there's many other pagan things out there. There's a huge amount of different, and it seems to always come something new and new and new again and again and again. And it's just, it's hard to keep up with all the pagan bullshit that is out there. But the thing is, you don't really need to, in some sense. If you just study the Bible and be careful of Paul and all that, and grow to figure out who Jesus Christ is, who the Bible actually say Jesus Christ is, and who, and dig into some history as well, and real Protestant history, and in regard to the, what have actually been going on and all that. These things we should actually have known from our childhood, but apparently no one seems to teach us these valuable things about what is actually going on in the world, and people have just thrown the Bible to. It's interesting. We have had 500 years to read the Bible here in this nation, in Denmark, where I'm living. 500 years, and we haven't come further than this, and actually we're now going backward. It's going really, really quick in our days. It's just incredible. 500 years. Hey, wasn't there anyone in Denmark that read the Torah, the book of Moses, or the books of Moses, the 5 books of Moses, and figured out, hey, wait. Christmas is actually not found in the Bible, Easter is not found in the Bible. Halloween, now of course Halloween is something new that I guess we got it from the US or something like that. I don't know, but it's bullshit anyway. It's pagan bullshit and all. But anyway, isn't there anyone looking at the Bibles, and seeing, God actually commanded, there were actually Passover 7 days of unleavened bread, and then we need to count for 250, Like people count to 24, 25 in regards of, of Christ Mass. Well, actually in the Bible it says it's in regards of we count to 50 after the Sabbath. We count to 50 for the day of weeks. That's a high Sabbath. So anyway, but no, apparently we just totally flew over that. Totally flew over. Oh, didn't Jesus actually keep these? Oh yeah, he did. He didn't keep all the pagan bullshit, that we're now keeping. Jesus kept these festivals. It's like, hey, haven't anyone figured out that something is totally wrong here? 500 years to read the Bible. 500 years. Hasn't there been any? Yeah, there must have someone that has read it, because someone had to translate it into Danish, because we have, different translations, right, into Danish. So someone must have read it. So why haven't we changed it? I don't know. Why is it that in 1973 we made the 7th day into the 6th day and the first day into the 7th day here in Denmark? Why is that? I don't know. It's just more pagan bullshit. Did anyone care about that? Apparently not. Apparently people don't care about anything. People are just totally careless. They just want to be spoon-fed all the lies and deceptions and all that, hurting our children, taking the truth from our generations, and leading them back to the Antichrist, because we, the people, don't care. And actually, we end up attacking the truth all the time, right? I think I've felt it, people don't care, and they can be, become stirred up and this and that, I'm like, don't you care? Don't you just care a little bit? Huh? No, apparently not. No, apparently not. Oh yeah, in regards of evolution as well, that's another lie we talked a little about. But that's, if you want to believe in pagan bullshit, of course, you can go with evolution. You have to be kidding me. The goat became hungry and jumped into the sea and became a dolphin. You have to be kidding me, you people. You really have to be kidding me. This whole story of pagan evolution, right? That this pool, this mud, how many billion, let's see, thinking. It's like 13.8 billion years, nothing exploded, and then around 4 what was it? They say I can't remember the older, but anyway, the whole idea with this pool of mud. Again, I don't need to know actually, because it's bullshit. It's utter bullshit. But anyway, so the pool, becomes dry, and then it becomes wet, and then it becomes dry, and then it becomes wet, and all that. And if you don't believe me, go read one of the newest magazines of of illustrated science in regards to Danish. That's what they believe. So because I've read it, I'm following along sometimes here and there. But anyway, so they believe that the pool became dry, it became wet, it became dry, it became wet, and out of this wet, dry, apparently a miracle happened, and the pool became alive apparently. That's in regards of in the land. So apparently the life that then apparently. That it's stupidity. Anyway, but the thing that in the land that became alive apparently took a trip on the bus to the ocean, because it has to get to the ocean, because then it evolves in the ocean, right? So I don't know how that fixed, how they fixed that, but anyway, the pool in the land apparently jumped into the sea in some way. They didn't actually explain that. They didn't explain if the bacteria or whatever the organism that was in this pool of water took a bus or what. But apparently they went to the ocean. Okay. So when they were in the ocean, of course, over time, long time and all that, it became a fish. And the fish apparently, according to this stupidity, went up on the earth. So when the fish came up on the earth, walked up on the earth and all that, it became a goat. Well, the goat apparently didn't have enough food to eat on the land, so it jumped into the sea again. So it became a dolphin. Did you see how maniac this? Yeah, apparently not. Yeah, you people want to believe anything and everything besides the Bible, right? Because in 6 days, the gods created the heavens and the earth, and on the 7th day he rested. That's why we have a 7-day week. But anyway, of course we have now, by man-made decree, of course that doesn't change the law of God. But, the law of God rules over any law of man. If the law of man says something and God's law says something else, of course, the God overrules the law of man. So when God thinks himself, let's just change the 7th day to the 6th day and the 1st day to the 7th day, that doesn't really do anything. Of course, the people might believe now that Sunday is the last day of the week, but it's utter bullshit, Nothing has actually changed in some sense, besides now that the people are now, deceived. That of course. But anyway, overall, it's just. So, anything else? I guess, atheism and all that bullshit. Believing that there is no creator, no designer, no programmer, no engineer with great intelligence that created everything we see around us. No, it couldn't be, of course. No. What is the logical conclusion, the sensible conclusion when we observe all the things that we do observe? In regards of the microorganisms, while you see apparently the biology, people looking down the scope, and they have to do this mantra, it is not designed, 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 because it looks designed. So they have to, apparently do this mantra. You have to be kidding me. Or maybe it looks designed because it is designed, and that we are now living in a fallen world. And it's still pretty amazing, even if we are living in a fallen world, how, to see, we don't know much, we really don't know much. And yet we think we know much, but, really, actually we tend to do a lot of havoc to our body because we believe it's a good idea to throw fungus poison or, mold poison in, put it in a pill, a white pill, and then swallow it up. And then kill off the bacteria down in the gut. Because we think we are so clever, and then we get fungus issues. And, it's just insane. Insane. It's just an insane world. Anything else I can come up with? What did I try else in my days of the occult? I did a lot of things. I guess I would need to go back in regards to my Facebook to try to remember some of these things, but I would just advise people not to do these things and figure out who Jesus Christ is and who the Antichrist is. And if you know these two truths that every Protestant knew in the past, every single Protestant, well, that the devil have tried to hide away, it's incredible how diabolical that. But anyway, and by the way, the Jesuits as well. That's a nice thing to check out as well. I actually have the Jesuit oath. Maybe we should look at that. Well, this is, by the way, my website. Again, I haven't much on it, but I guess the information on it might actually be still pretty valuable for people. I don't know. I should probably edit that at some point and fix more. I don't know, but you can find so many places that points to Jesus being God. I said therefore to you that ye shall die in your sins. For if ye believe not that I am, ye shall die in your sins. And again, the Jews did absolutely understand who he was talking about. They wanted to stone him because he made himself into God. Anyway, here we have, I, Jehovah, have overthrown some of you as Elohim, that would be God Jehovah, overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. And you were like a burning stick plucked from the burning, but you did not turn back to me, declares Jehovah. So I is the Jehovah. And he talks like he talks about God destroying Sodom and Gomorrah. Well, how is it that God is talking about God destroying Sodom and Gomorrah? Isn't that interesting? Maybe because we have the Son, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Anyway. So, let's see here. Then Jehovah rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah brimstone and fire from Jehovah out of the heavens. That is a plural in Hebrew. But anyway, so that's, one after another. I collected these together to some people that, rejects that Jesus is God. And I think it's like 28 or 26 or something like that times in the Aramaic New Testament. And the Aramaic New Testament only have the 22 books out of the 27. So it's missing 5 books. But of those 22 books, it says that Jesus is God, is Jehovah, Maya. So anyway, so it's even more clear in the Aramaic than the Greek. But, even without the Aramaic, you can easily see it. There's on so many levels. On so many levels. Anyway, let's see if we can find the resveratrol was apparently, some believe that resveratrol in grape for example in grapes are anti-fungus. So apparently that's one of the reasons why they that some suggest you drinking wine with alcohol. But why drink anything with alcohol if you can just take the resveratrol for itself? Where was it in regards of, didn't I have it open in regards of, here we go, the Jesuit oath. And of course, copyright is of the devil. So I really don't understand the guy saying, copyright 2007 by Niall Kilkenny and all that bullshit. Don't give me the copyright, give me a break. That's just bullshit. The truth should always go out to people, and I guess this guy might actually have taken this from another place again. So how can you copyright something you take from something else? It's stupid. And we are, did Jesus copyright anything, or did he say, hey, you guys, you need to copyright my words? No. The gospel was spreading out in the world. They were copying and copying and copying. There was no copyright on it. Give me a break. It's actually amazing how many documents we have in regards of the New Testament and all that. When thinking about that, there are people out there, going around destroying the things, So there was no copyright. Give me a break. The people, if anyone wants, had the possibility to spread the word of God, they would do that. Of course, the Roman Catholic Church don't like that, of course, because they're persecuted the truth for, Anyway, it's not Christian. It's not a Christian institution. I don't know how people can be so blind, but it's not Christian. It's persecuting the Christians. It's destroying it's trying to remove the truth. It's working for the devil. It's the devil's masterpiece. Roman Catholicism is the devil's masterpiece. So, wolves in sheep clothing. Jesus was warning us about wolves in sheep clothing. Anyway, and my nose is somewhat blocked at the moment. I've been speaking for a long time, and then it begins to block up. Anyway, here we have the Jesuit extreme oath of induction. The following is the Jesuit extreme oath of induction given to high-ranking Jesuits only. This oath is taken from the book Subterranean Rome by Charles Didier, translated from France and published in New York in 1843. Okay, let's move that up there. When a Jesuit of minor rank is to be elevated to command, he is conducted into the chapel of convent of the order, where there are only 3 other presents. The principal or superior standing in front of the altar. On either side stands as a monk, one of whom holds a banner of yellow and white, which are the papal colors. And the other a black banner with a dagger and red cross above, a skull and crossbones with the word in re, and below them the words Iistum Nica Regis Impius, the meaning of which is, it is just to exterminate or annihilate impious or heretical kings, governments, or rulers. Upon the floor is a red cross at which the postulant or candidate kneels. The superior hands him a small black crucifix, which he takes in his left hand and presses to his heart, and the superior at the same... we have a problem in regards to the connection apparently. And the superior at the same time present to him a dagger. It's interesting that we have had no problems in regards to the connection, and now apparently out of nowhere there's a connection problem when we can actually see there's a full signal. Interesting, right? So anyway, I guess you can go and read it for yourself. It's if you just search on the Jesuit oath, you should be able to find, whatever webpage. And it's the most diabolical. It's the special soldiers of Satan, pretty much. Working for the Antichrist, and just continues with its, army of Loyola. That's in regards of Ignatius Loyola, that apparently also is sainted. You can pray to him apparently, according, in regards of the Roman Catholic insanity institution and all that. Now, it's not only Ignatius Loyola that you can actually pray to. They have these cards as well, where there's a prayer and all that. Can't remember what they're called, but it's just bullshit. There's 2 other saints that are so-called saints, Catholic so-called saints, whatever you want to call it, where they have, it's just incredible how actually I would guess if I took a list of all these so-called saints, I would probably be able to find some of the most disgusting people. Now, that's not always the case, because sometimes they also saint Christians to gobble them up into the system, and then they promote this bullshit. So they make, they gobble a person up that actually didn't have anything to do with Roman Catholicism, and then they make it their own. They try to make it their own, and that's one. You can see the Irish. I can't remember what it's called. Patrick. I think it's Patrick. You can see one of the examples where they gobble Patrick up and make him a Roman Catholic, pretty much. It's just disgusting. Anyway, but it was like they sainted another guy as well that actually had persecuted people in regards of just trying to get the Bible to people in their own language. And then another that was actually murdering people in Serbian, I think, or something like that. Anyway, I can't remember the names and all that, but, you know, it's just a disgusting system. Ignatius Loyola, why would you ever think him to be a Christian? And, you know, as you know, he is just is a. If you look into the system, it's just so wicked. Of course, they will use the names of Jesus Christ, and you know, they will use all these biblical things and all that, and yeah, it's disgusting. Here we go, the Sacred Mother Church of Rome. Yeah, you know. And all that adherents in regards that they be observed and heretical, opposing the Sacred Mother Church of Rome. Well, unholy, wicked institution. I do further declare that the doctrine of the Church of England and Scotland, of the Calvinists, Huguenots, and other of the named Protestants, are liberals to be damnable, and they themselves damned who will not forsake the same. Yeah. I shall come to and do my outermost to extirpate the heretical Protestants or liberals' doctrines and to destroy all their pretended powers, regal or otherwise. I'm not sure in regards to regal, but anyway, it's and they're still working and no one knows about it. No one seems to, yeah. I further promise and declare that I will, when opportunity present, make and wage relentless war, secretly or openly, against all heretics, Protestants, and liberals, as I am directed to do, to extirpate and exterminate them from the face of the whole earth, and that I will spare neither age, sex, or condition, and that I will hang, waste, boil, flay, strangle, and bury alive these infamous heretics, rip up the stomachs and wombs of their women, and crush their infants' head against the walls, in order to annihilate forever their execrable race. That when the same cannot be done openly, I will secretly use the poison cup, the strangulating cord, the steel of the poniard, or the leaden bullet, regardless of the honor, rank, dignity, or authority of the person or persons, whatever may be their condition in life, either public or private, as I at any time may be directed so to do by any agent of the Pope or superior of the Brotherhood of the so-called Holy Faith of the Society of Jesus. Okay? You can read the rest for yourself. I'm pretty much done in regards of words. That's, by the way, Alberto Rivera, by the way. A picture of him, anyway. So, yeah. And of course, there's much more. There's much more bullshit, pagan bullshit out in the world. And again, Satan's candy store is full of different flavors. It's the broad way that leads to destruction, and you need to repent and look to Jesus Christ, who died once and for all for the sins of the world, and become a disciple of him. And the disciple should become as his master. That is the goal. The goal is to walk as he walked, and he was perfect, and that should be our goal. Now, not saying that we are perfect, but that should be our goal. To become more and more like him. That's anyway. I guess I'll stop now and have a break. Battery is also low, so 2 hours, that's great. Hey, no one wants to hear about it, hear about anything anyway, apparently. It seems like people just don't want to listen, so. Well, there's only two. Either you're standing in the light or you're standing in the darkness, So, it talks about that people love the darkness more than they love the light. So they wouldn't come out to it. That seems to be true, that people just don't want to, live their life in darkness. And don't really care about anything. don't care about the truth. Let's just murder, more people. It's disgusting. Utterly disgusting. Anyway, have a good one. Have a great Sabbath today. The day of rest is now. I guess, other places on the earth they might, but should, in regards to the US, I'm not sure how long they are, but at least in Israel, let's see, do I actually have when the sun set actually? I guess I don't have that. Because sometimes Israel is a little, off in regards to Denmark, because we are living, and because of the world, wobbling a little and all that, so yeah, there can be some variations in regards to that. So anyway, have a good one. I'm pretty much done, I guess. Have a good one. May Jehovah bless you. May Yeshua be a most precious pearl. And may the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of truth, be in us all. Amen. And don't let go of Jesus when you find him, or Yeshua. Don't let go of him, because the devil will try. And, don't expect it to be too easy, expect that there will be, what shall we say, persecution, that there will be conflicts, because there will be. And, you can see my legs, apparently, my shorts and all that. Anyway, that's like a mirror up there, So anyway, have a good one. I guess I'm doing what they call, what the feminists call man-spreading my legs. You had to be kidding me. It's just insane, this world. Yeah, that's in regards to the feminism. Oh, the feminist. The rebellious, satanic feminist, That's just bad. Oh, so bad. In Denmark, we have killed over 840,000 innocent children just because the feminists wanted to commit whoredom and spread their legs to anyone and everyone apparently around them. And when you become pregnant, apparently you have to have the ability to murder your child. That was another thing that was enforced in 1973, by the way. And then, of course, the hatred of men. They had 3 goals, in regards of becoming, being allowed to be whores, free sex and all that, and have the possibility to murder the children. And then the third one was the hatred of man in regards of the patriarchal system. Oh, so bad. Because it's just much, much better, apparently, to have a hormonal disturbed woman to lead the family. Oh, really? Yeah, that's the logic of women. The women of logic, the sensibility of women is just out the window. Anyway, and of course, if you want to be like a man and go out in the work field and all that, and work and all that, of course, if you become pregnant, you have to have the ability to commit murder, apparently, so you can continue to work. It's just insane. This is the diabolical insanity of women and of this movement. And it's cruel, it's demonic, and it's evil. And it's stupid. We have lost so much, and we have health issues and all that. Women have health issues, and the children have health issues. The men have health issues because the women don't learn to cook anymore. So they don't know how to keep themselves healthy. And it's pretty important for a woman to keep herself healthy, because she's the one that bearing children. So it's important for her to know what she needs for her body. But, because of all the feminist movement and all that, and of course, the women goes out to educate themselves, and they, wanting a career. And of course, that's a problem because, in the end, they end up 40 fat and finished, and then then they can't have children. So anyway, it's just all demonic. Anyway, that's another topic for itself. Let's stop it.